About 3 months ago, I started up a blank Unity project just wanting to make a simple flight controller. Originally, I was going to make just this and then move on to another project, but then I got an idea for a game that I wanted to play, couldn't get it out of my head, and then after searching, I couldn't find anything similar, so I got to work. What sparked my original idea was the Red Bull Air Race, and my original plan was to do just that. I downloaded a PS1 style shader from the asset store and started working. I started off making a simple checkpoint and timer system. After playing around with just this for a little bit, I decided this game wouldn't be complete without drifting. I added very simple drifting to the player controller, but it'll definitely need some more work down the line. For now, it works by increasing the strength of your control inputs at the cost of your airspeed. When you release the drift button, you gain a speed boost kind of like Mario Kart. This ended up making the gameplay a lot more fun and fast-paced, and also added a lot of skill expression. After this, I made a very simple water shader in the shader graph, which added quite a bit to the game. My original plan was to stick with just this and start making some more tracks and polish what I had, but then some scope creep happened and I decided this game had to be turned into Gran Turismo. Now, what I mean by turning this into Gran Turismo is the gameplay loop of doing races to earn money to buy new cars, or in this case planes, and then buying upgrades for those to do higher tiers of races to earn more money and so on. I eventually want to organize these races into various cups, which will just be collections of races with points given based on your position, and then scores total at the end. I want to have at least 3 locations with multiple tracks at each location. Right now I have a beach level planned, a forest level planned, and a city level planned. This is mostly just because I'm lazy and want to reuse my environments, but also making new gameplay because it will be multiple tracks. Now, like I said earlier, this will increase the scope of my game quite a bit, but I think it's really worth it in the testing I've done. Before, it was just a time trial game, and while that was pretty fun, adding the prize money and something to buy with it gives it a real gameplay loop, and it still keeps all of that time trial potential that was there before. The first thing I made for this new gameplay loop was a race list that works by using scriptable objects and making a system that gives you prize money if you beat the target time. I want to have races against the clock as well as enemy racers. I also got to work on the shop and upgrade system, which also doubled as time for me to get some of the boring stuff out of the way. I made a save system so that purchased upgrade and selected options would get saved to a file. This save system isn't only for the upgrades and is set up to handle all of the save data requirements for the entire campaign. I'm glad I got this out of the way early, because time-consuming tasks that don't feel directly related to the game like this have definitely killed some of my projects in the past. After completing the upgrade system, I started working on making my scenes nicer. I added some waves to my water shader, and then during an asset store sale, I bought a bunch of scenery assets that I didn't feel like making. In my little shopping spree was a custom skybox shader which I used to make my menu scenes much nicer. I started working on some race scenes, but I'm still working on getting a race layout I like. Getting the sense of scale right when traveling at several hundred units per second is taking a lot more work than I thought. I then got a little distracted and made a basic version of the enemy racer AI. For now, it's just chasing a cube down a moving spline, since I figured racing something that takes the exact same path every time would get kind of boring. I tried racing against it a few times, and it really added quite a bit to the races. Now, it's time for me to really get started on all of the content for this game. And that's all I have for my episode 0. So I wrote this devlog all at once after about 3 months of working my game. So I wanted to make a devlog series about all the future work I'll be planning on doing on this, but I wasn't writing anything down or recording very much outside of what you already saw in this video. So this episode 0 sort of serves to catch up to the current version of my project, and the future ones will be in a bit of a different format where they'll have less things to cover, but they'll go much more into detail into all of the changes I'm making. So if you're still watching at this point in my first video, thank you so much. I'm trying to get a devlog released once a month, so you'll be able to keep track of my progress on this game. If you're interested, by just checking in once a month, like and subscribe. Thank you very much.